The Syndeia dashboard is the primary interface through which the user creates and manages connections between model elements in different software tools. The objective of this video is to familiarize the user with the main sections of the dashboard. For those using Syndeia with IBM Rational Rhapsody, the easiest way to launch the dashboard is from the Model View browser in the Rhapsody interface. Right-click on an element and select Syndeia Dashboard. If we launch the dashboard from the top-level package, we will be able to make connections to any SysML element in the model. We can also launch from lower-level elements, but then we will only be able to make and use connections to that element and elements under it in the browser. That can simplify our view of the model, but it requires the user to reset the scope of the dashboard using the goto command for connections to other SysML elements. The dashboard has a row of 6 tabs across the top. We will go through them sequentially. More details will be provided in later versions of this course. The first tab is the Repository Manager. This is where the user creates and views linkages to outside tools, repositories, and folders on the local operating system and shared drives. On the left side, we have all the kinds of tools for which Syndeia interfaces have been installed. If we select the top level, Repositories, the right side shows a summary table of all the existing linkages with some of the access info used to create the linkage. I am blurring out some of the specifics for my installation. If we select a specific existing linkage, we see the external model elements we have access to through that linkage. In a later video, we will look at creating and deleting linkages. The second tab is the Connection Manager, the primary location for making connections. On the left side, we see the SysML model, headed by the element from which we launched the dashboard. The small plus signs allow us to expand or compress the tree structure. On the right, we can select one of the external repositories that we have linkages to by left-clicking on the top bar. We see the contents that our credentials give us access to. We can right-click on elements on either left or right and see a list of context-dependent commands. The center column shows the possible types of connections that can be made between the left and right sides, using drag-and-drop operations. Future videos will describe the nature and properties of these connections. The Connection Browser tab shows existing connections arranged by SysML model hierarchy. It is the primary location for initiating compare and sync operations. Expanding the tree shows the individual connections identified by a small blue icon with information on the type and target of the connection. If we right-click on an individual connection, we can trigger compare and sync operations across that connection. We can do the same operations at the element or package level and trigger the operation on all connections under that element. Later videos will show multiple examples of this. The Connection Summary tab shows the same connection information, but in a different format. Each connection is shown as one row. There are 40 connections in total for this SysML model. A later video will show how we sort and filter the rows, and the table can be exported as an Excel file. As in the Connection Browser, we can right-click any connection and trigger a variety of operations, including deleting one or more connections if they are no longer needed or valid. When we call for a comparison of two models across one or more connections, the results are shown in the Comparison Result tab, which opens automatically when the comparison operation is complete. Finally, the Settings tab contains a wide range of user-selectable settings. Some are applicable to Syndeia as a whole, such as the Enable Debug Logging checkbox, which sets what level of messaging is shown in the notification window at the bottom of the dashboard. Others are applicable to specific tool interfaces. For example, to set what level and kind of model element content to transform between tools. In all cases, it is necessary to click the Apply button before the changes take effect. Some changes, however, may not affect the current Syndeia graph structure, but will be implemented in future graphs. To complete the tour, the notification window at the bottom shows a running log of Syndeia actions. You can clear this window by right-clicking inside and choosing Clear, but the same messages are also stored in a log file, syndeia.rh, located in your user directory /.syndeia. These can be useful in debugging problems with building the total system model, or simply monitoring the progress of Syndeia operations. Close the Syndeia dashboard in the usual way by clicking the Close button at the top of the window.